25 years of uninterrupted democracy. It seems untrue, yet it is true. The 1999 general election ushered in the democracy Nigeria still practices today. Originally, May 29th was designated as Nigeria's official day of democracy, commemorating Olusegun Obasanjo's inauguration as the country's new president. On June 6, 2018, 8 days after May 29th, 2018, democracy celebration in Nigeria was moved from 29th May to June 12th by President Muhammadu Buhari's administration to be the new Democracy Day. This was done to honor Moshood Abiola's democratic election on June 12th, 1993, which the Ibrahim Babangida's administration unjustly cancelled. This, according to many, was the most liberal election in our nation's history. Nigeria's democratic system is based on the U.S. federal structure and is governed by a democratic constitution. The National Assembly of the Senate and the House of Representatives forms the legislature. The president leads the executive branch and the Supreme Court oversees the judiciary. However, some analysts argue that Nigeria is not a true democracy at the moment because of its entrenched and corrupt declining voter turnout, public mistrust of the ruling elite, erosion of civil freedoms, and the feeble democratic institutions.
The political class have so much monetized the process that they can buy out anybody. I mean, we've heard of corruption in judiciary, we've heard of corruption within the election management body, we've heard of corruption even among the civil society organization, not to talk of the media. If you look at the media space, most of the media organizations are owned by politically exposed persons. Then you start to audit and drill down and find out that, oh, there is more to be done than what these people have served us. So when you look at all of those institutions of democracy, you are talking of the judiciary, you are talking of the media, political parties, election management bodies, civil society, the legislature, all of them, they are complicit in where we are with our democratic consolidation project. Because democracy is not an end in itself, it's a means to an end. And what is the end that democracy is supposed to serve? Democracy is a means to an end. The end is good governance, development. Now tell me, how much of development do we have? How much of good governance have we witnessed?
According to history, democracy emerged as an opposing force to despotism and authoritarianism. In many pre-colonial Nigeria, leaders bore responsibility for disease outbreaks, environmental disasters, and natural calamities in addition to being answerable to the populace.
We should not lose hope. It's a phase, it's a transition. America went through the same phase many decades ago. And when we talk about democracy, it's a never-ending journey because it's a work in progress. Look at the American election that is coming up in November. It has brought about its own contradictions. A felon who has been convicted is on the ballot. And the other person who is incumbent is having severe health issue that people are saying, will this person, if he wins, will he be able to govern with full control of his senses? If you say America now, America is just about 350 million population. But look at China. France is not even anywhere close to that in population. But you see, that's what ICT does for you. If you are good in STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and you are innovative, you have technological breakthrough, it's a piece of cake. But look at it. We are still fighting insecurity through AK-47, no drones, no jammers, no scanners. You, I mean, I don't want to be uncharitable, but as I said, we are not where we ought to be. Our developmental strides should have taken us far higher than where we are. We are the lower rung of the bottom. We are the lower rung of the ladder when you are talking of developmental strides. And that's very disheartening. And that's why I would say, anytime, any day, we don't have cause to celebrate.
To many Nigerians, democracy seems to have few benefits. Speaking to True Vision team on the impacts of democracy, Comrade Uzo said the only thing that can strengthen Nigeria's democracy are a completely reformed political system, more qualified political parties, more independent and diverse media, a more powerful electoral watchdog, and a vibrant court.
We will be talking about now is how will this democracy produce real democrats in the state? Who are these real democrats? Real democrats are those who understand what democracy is about, who believe that democracy is to give dividends, positive and progressive dividends to the people. That is the people that are supposed to be in the active stage of democracy, not hooligans, not dull, mental minded people, as in the case of Nigeria. And that is why the dividends of democracy are not felt. It is unfortunate that when you come to Nigeria, my country, people will tell you democracy is working. When you ask them, how do you see the dividends of democracy? They will tell you, governor has built road, governor has built estate. Is that development? No. You build the estate, you build roads, they are infrastructures, but the people are suffering. The best infrastructure is human development. Any country that does not develop their citizens, I don't think a democracy is in active action. So democracy should be fine, well defined when the government or those actors and actresses of democrats are in charge, not when the people who don't know anything about democracy are in charge. Let's, for instance, take an example where we are here now standing is Jabi Park. Jabi Park, there is no doubt that there are Aboro here and they get a lot of money. The next thing he will do is to become contest for AMAC chairmanship. And when you give him the power, or when he buy himself into that position, I bet you he will rule AMAC like Motor Park. You see the people in power? So the educated people who know much about leadership are not in power. So we will be, until our democracy realize those people, economists, political scientists, sociologists, and the historians, or call it the philosophers. If they are in power, they will make use of their senses and drive the nation to her El Dorado.
But that's democracy for you. And it's better to face reality than to live in denial and say, oh, it never happened. Oh, it's not true. It is true. That is our reality at this point. But our leadership can do better. So everybody has come to realize that there is a leadership challenge from the local councils down to the presidency. Who fixed that? How do we fix it? How do we bring about positive turnaround? How do we instill people's confidence in the governance process?
It is not surprising that many Nigerians have something to say about democracy and Nigeria's current administration. They noted that the goal of democracy is to give the people a say on how the state, the economy, and the society are run. Its goal is to turn elected officials into servants and the voters or the masses into kings. Hence, its common definition as government of the people, for the people, and by the people.
And democracy, you should know what democracy is all about. The rule by the people. Nothing more than that. When the people will is in action. When the people are in action, when the people are partly in the decision of the rules and regulations that are regulating their nation. That is what is about security, democracy. Democracy cannot work without the will of the people. But why, as if it is not being practiced, is because of high percentage of Nigerian voters still believe that their votes are not counted. But still, if the votes are not counted, but still the democracy is continued. By the definition of democracy, Nigerians are not, because go to National Assembly, during their sitting, you don't see the masses there. The masses are not there. Then who are making opinion that is governing the masses without the masses in presence? It's still the elites. And the elites does not buy where the masses are buying. The elites does not go to hospital where the elites does not go to hospital where the masses go to hospital. Now there is no good hospital in Nigeria. Almost all our elites go to hospital in Europe and the Americas. So where is democracy? The only automobile vehicle we have in Nigeria, nurses, the government in power cannot patronize him. Where is democracy in action? Whereas in Japan, they use the vehicles made in Japan. In a very small country, Israel, that is the ruler of the whole world today, Israel vehicles are made in Israel. The automobiles are made in Israel. Their technology is made in Israel. So they don't depend on any country. So when a government cannot encourage excellence in their country, they only celebrate excellence when somebody dies. They praise the person. Even if it's a son of a devil, they give him thanks and praises at burial. It's not democracy.
For some Nigerians, democracy has not yet resulted in a meaningful improvement in standards of living. They argue if democracy is the system that Nigeria needs, owing to its vast population and diversity.
So democracy, I think, is a rule of law that everyone will be penalized or participate, but it's obvious that National Assembly members are not practicing it. Even though in paper they say we are practicing democracy, which I think we are not. I would have wished to see Nigeria practice the kind of system that Burkina Faso, Niger, and the rest of them are practicing now. And today you can see what they are doing. What's the name of this country? Niger. Niger actually was 0.5% of their uranium. Now they are saying about $200, and it was $0.5 cents when it was democratic, when the country was democratic. Now they are selling it $200, equivalent to how Canada is selling their uranium. So tell me if African is practicing democracy. All these are, what do you call them? These Western powers have decided to make everybody a puppet. You give them certain incentives and they make sure they leave you there to rule for life. So that is not democracy, to be honest. They are just using that concept to hold us back as Africans.
For others, democracy has not resulted in a meaningful improvement. However, it continues to be the only form of government that has the potential to bring its vast population's remarkable diversity of religions, nationalities, and political traditions together.
Africans is actually divided across the religious lines and ethnicity. Even if Tinubu is doing well, you will not notice. Because you have one ethnic group that are going to say negative things completely against him. You have another group that is in his favor, not because he's performing, but because they feel he's their kinman and they can't say anything negative about him. So it's difficult to predict what is even going on. But we all can tell, Sha, that the system is bad. And I won't lie to you, as a honest person as I can be, I don't expect Nigerians to get repaired easily. Nigeria is a country of about 220 million. We are about 8 Ghana, about 8 to 9 Ghana, about 9 to 10 Cameroon, about 4 times South Africa, about 16 times Rwanda. A big country. Nigeria just drift from 7th populated country to 6th. Nigeria is growing by size. Everybody get picking. So as long as we're growing in this size, there is no how that you can just fix this kind of system overnight. In short, let me tell you the honest truth. I think Nigerian is, our budget is running around 20 trillion. But if there's no corruption, there's nothing. If you run that budget for 30, it will take you 30 years before you start seeing the light on the end of the tunnel. So with all due respect, I don't expect the president to do any magic. That's the honest truth. I'm not saying he's doing well or not, but I'm just saying that even if he starts doing well, it will take us 30 years to notice.
Speaking on the dividends of democracy for the past 1 year under the current administration, Mr. Jide Ojo said it is a journey and Nigeria is yet to arrive there.
And judiciary is complicit because the official stamp of judiciary is on the elections. Even when ordinary citizens see that these elections are far less than being credible. But you see, you also don't blame the judiciary much because the framers of the law, which is the National Assembly, says election will not be nullified unless there is substantial non-compliance with the rules. So how do you measure substantial non-compliance?
It is no news that we are not where our contemporaries are, but on the journey to getting there. With the right vision and the right set of leaders, a true democracy is achievable. Anyebo Ebere reporting for True Vision Online TV, a platform that democratizes the media space.
Here we stand as a people with one song, with one voice.